You know, despite being an eldritch horror abomination, I've played a lot of farming games. But one franchise stood out from all the rest and became my favorite. I grew a bit tired of the plain old Harvest Moon games, wishing for something a bit more. If only you could farm and fight monsters. Then, one day, wee little Cassandra was blessed by the universe. Sitting on the shelf at a GameStop was Rune Factory, a fantasy Harvest Moon. This would spark a long life obsession. Now, the franchise is far from perfect. But it's full of charm, and a lot of care went into it, and every installment was an improvement on the last. Well, that is, until Neverland, the company behind Rune Factory, went bankrupt and the franchise would fall silent for 7 years. Then, in 2019, at the end of a Nintendo Direct, was this.
A heartfelt fantasy adventure crops up once again. And we can finally confirm that Rune Factory 5 is in development.
Rune Factory was back and under new management. We went nuts. And 3 years later, it was finally delivered onto us. And let's just say, it was aight. Gone were the beautifully rendered backgrounds and cozy towns, replaced with barren, too spread apart, mixed-matched buildings that creepily all faced the same direction. And this was not their first time on a bigger console. Tides of Destiny was the first example of the series taking risks, and the second time on console. I wasn't a huge fan of farming only being done by the monsters you captured, though it did give them more purpose, but I enjoyed taking a break from combat to tend to my responsibilities. But what I want to focus on in this comparison, outside the ability to jump, is the town. Matching architecture, not too stretched apart, and organic feeling placement, this feels like a place where people live, not like they ran out of time to finish. Like, why is there a boat-themed restaurant in the middle of the town, and not near the beach? Rune Factory 5 feels way too barren for how spread apart everything is. There is literally nothing to look at while running from A to B. This is a problem many games face when trying to seem open world. If you don't have the assets to fill it, just make it smaller. It's okay. It makes the game less tedious and nicer to look at. When one of your strongest appeals was how pretty your game was, it's sad to see it reduced to a bald woolly. Also, the stiffness of the game sometimes takes me out of it. I feel like it lacks a lot of animation. Little things make it feel more immersive and less artificial. The environment just feels meh. Despite the environmental downgrade, there are quite a few upgrades, like the auto pickup feature.
All right! Nice! 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 All right! All right! All right! Nice! All right! All right! Nice! Yes! Nice! Nice! All right! Nice! 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 Nice!
Or the improved marriage options. The story is actually pretty good in this one. It's what kept me playing long enough to appreciate the game. It's fun when I'm not being one-shotted by random f***ing monsters half my level.
Time to eat!
Is this because I'm playing on hard? Why is this a thing? Why is the means to defend against it a recipe that's level way too high to be able to make it? With too rare of items. Whose decision was this? Why? Well, Rune Factory 5 certainly made things more challenging versus the previous games, including more environmental hazards and enemy types. I feel like they made magic a bit more necessary than the previous games, as some enemies don't seem to be too affected by physical attacks, and I actually like that. This game gave me hope for the future of the franchise, even though I don't think it's better than the previous games. With Rune Factory 6 on the horizon, along with Guardians of Azuma next year, I feel like the series gave itself room to experiment, and I'm excited about it. Guardians of Azuma is introducing brand new features never seen in the games before, like ranged weapons, town building, and an expansion on the lore of the land. I hope we see improvement with the environments in the future games, and that Hakama, the new team behind Rune Factory, takes the series forward to new heights, without losing what makes Rune Factory a cult classic. And people will finally stop looking at me weird for loving such an obscure game. Thank you for letting me rant about a game I love so dearly. It's my dream to make a game of my own inspired by this one, and I hope I can achieve it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button as it means so much on this platform. And if you chuckled even a little, consider subscribing for more goofy antics and Let's Plays. See you in the next one!